It'll come the time that your children will grow old and older and older, and you get old, start to get a few white hair, and then a few more and a few more, and then you're an old man. That's your life.
I just dream for the next day to come good for me.
I want to live comfortably in peace my old days. I am 75, my next birthday, that is the 23rd of this November coming, and I want to live peace. I get a little check from the government, my Social Security. I pay, what I pay in, I don't think I'll live to take out.
Your Social Security is not enough to cover your needs. It's not enough to cover everybody's needs. Some people can live on it, and some people can't.
How much money do you get from Social Security?
$147
A month.
a month.
Is it hard to get along on that?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
I pay $120 a month here for rent.
That leaves Mrs. Mary Donnelly just 88 cents a day for food, her clothes, medicine, and everything else. But Mrs. Donnelly's problem is not unusual. In New York City, more than 200,000 of the elderly have to live on fixed incomes below the national poverty level. And in spite of the reality that prices are up on everything, since the beginning of this year, hundreds of thousands of older people have been getting federal supplemental security checks that are almost $50 a month less than before. For May Fitzpatrick, a former model, this means that she can no longer afford her tiny hotel room just north of Times Square.
I don't know which way to turn, whether east, west, south, north, and everywhere I go, I just can't find anything. You look around, you see all these buildings, and you think about it, how is it that you can't find a place to live?
What's going to happen to you?
I don't know, that's what I'm trying to find out. I want some help. I gotta have some help. Somebody has to find some place for me to go.
There are 12,000 older people in the Times Square and Clinton neighborhoods of Manhattan. Many of them have lived and worked in this community all their lives. The lucky ones have small set pensions with just enough to get along. You can find some of the less fortunate every day at St. Luke's Church, where they can get a free hot meal.
I never thought I'd have to come to a place like this to get a meal, to carry on. Well, when your money's gone and you're alone in the world, it's a good thing that I'm a coward. Otherwise, I think I'd been gone long ago.
It's very lonesome at times, it's true, especially the weekend. You know, people go out, and then here I am looking out my window, you know, and see people going out, and I said, well, look, I'm all alone. Where could I go?
One place the elderly can go for a few hours each day is the Find Coffee House on 43rd Street. Project Find is a community group that works to help the elderly. They run this free coffee house where people can talk, laugh, and not feel too lonely.
We have a place to go instead of walking the street, you know. I mean, you don't know. So you come over here, you meet friends, talk, and you keep alive. You need a sense of humor in life, otherwise you are out of luck. Right, Julio?
But much too quickly, the afternoon ends. The coffee house closes. It's time to go home. Home for many, in fact for more than 2,000 of the elderly in the Times Square area, is a hotel, a single-room occupancy hotel. The 47 SROs left in Times Square are cheap, run-down, crime-ridden. They've been filled with welfare clients, drug addicts, former mental patients. But for the old people who live in them too, who've grown settled and really can't afford to go anywhere else, they're home. The land the SRO hotels stand on has become extremely valuable over the years, potentially worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Landowners and developers see the area filling up with more office towers, perhaps even a new entertainment or gambling center. Last year, 25 hotels were shut down. The people in them, some have moved into cheaper rooming houses where conditions are even worse. Some sleep in the subways. The Hotel 123, an SRO on West 44th Street, is still open, but it may not be for very long. Surrounded on all sides by office buildings, the 123, like other SROs in the area, is seen by real estate interests as part of the blight of Times Square. Its owner, Seymour Durst, has threatened to close it down. Since October 1st, no heat or hot water has been supplied. Many of the building's windows have been broken, and there are pools of urine and human excrement in the halls. Late this summer, 7 fires mysteriously occurred on one night. Tenants feel they were set purposely by management to try to drive them out.
About 2:30 in the morning, my dog woke me up over by the window. I went over and I looked out and I looked into the Lambs Club. And I saw the reflection of this thing burning. Man, it looked like a real inferno then. And my estimate is about, maybe 16 of these large 2-room apartments burned out. And I mean burned out, they're gutted. It just doesn't look right to me. It looks like he wants the whole thing to go up.
In plain English, he wants us out of here. We cannot find any place. I'm sure that the average person here would be more than happy if they could find somewhere, because this is no place that we would want to live. But by the same token, where are we going? What are we going to do? Mr. Durst's going to put us out on the street? There are people here 70 and 80 years of age. Where are they going? Nursing homes are closing. Where are these people going? Are they going to sit out on 44th Street and beg for nickels and pennies? Or are they going to stay here and live with some degree of dignity? This is what we're asking. We're not troublemakers. We're looking to save our home.
Mr. Samuel Patterson has lived at the 123 for the past 21 years. A dining car waiter for most of his life on the Pennsylvania Railroad, he's been robbed more times than he can remember.
I don't sleep at night. I'm restless. I'm nervous. I can't sleep at night. Go to sleep and think somebody's going to break the door down and come in. I have to sleep with something underneath my pillow. Is that a life to live? This nerve of man can't live like this. They start from top floor and they break the door down all the way down. You hear? Some of the rooms is nobody in it, but they thought something in it. They're going to get something. They break it down. They push the panel out. They break the panel out and get it. See this here? This is all what I sleep with. In case I get up and somebody break my door down, I can spray something in his fucking face and beat his brains out, and I'll drag him and throw him out the window. So help me God. I drag him up to the window and throw him out. It was bad here, my friend. You have no idea. It was bad here.
It's been so bad that in the past year there have been 2 murders, a rape, 10 assaults, and more than 150 robberies. The building has more than 260 fire and health code violations and is infested from top to bottom with both rats and roaches.
Roaches? I wake up at night, they wake me up calling in my face. Roaches is all over the place, man. That's dead roach. You see how it smells? Dead roach when I spray the thing in there. The roaches, when I lie down, maybe go to sleep, something crawl in my face, man. Hey, the roaches. I maybe mash them. Then I get up and turn everything back and knock him away, then maybe I can go to sleep.
Dolores von Mueller is another tenant at the 123. Her family was a wealthy one, and as a young girl she was presented to court in England. This portrait of Mrs. von Mueller was painted in 1932 when she made her debut. But her parents lost all their money in the Depression, and when they died, she was left with almost nothing.
What are you going to do if you're kicked out of here?
I tell you, I have no place to go. I am completely at a loss, because any place that I would find would be beyond my means. I'm paying very, very little now, and I couldn't duplicate it anywhere. And I can't imagine what I would do. I really can't, because I have no family, you know. I mean, I have no mother or father, brothers or sisters, and I have no one who could possibly take me in. And this is the first home I've had, and I love it with all my heart and soul. And I'm not ashamed of saying that it would just completely break my heart to have to give it up, because I'll never have a home again. If this goes, I'll never be able to afford a home again. And I will go, if I'm lucky, if I go into a little 2x4 room someplace, and a great fear of what will happen. It's really terrifying.
It's a very frightening feeling.
Father Francis Ryan is a Catholic priest who lives in the 123 out of choice. He's tried to help and even organize the tenants to keep their home. But Father Ryan is up against a powerful man in owner Seymour Durst. The hotel is worth little to Durst the way it is, but with the people out and with the building demolished, the value of his property could be more than $10 million. Father Ryan is afraid of retaliation against him and says that threats have even been made on his life.
My life is probably very much in jeopardy. When I come in this room at night, I put every chain I can on the door. And I lay awake here many a night, hours on end, because of the fear I have. And it's maybe a little bit childish, but when you realize that I have fought this fight, I'm on a battlefield alone, and there's nobody going to come to me and say, let me be your shield. And I feel that in my heart, I've laid down my life for these people. I'm laying down my life every time I get on the elevator. Every time I say a word, it's taken and carried back to management, and I know that management resents us very much. But I'm at the point now where I don't care what they resent. I think that we've had to come to a point where we realize we're human beings. And I'm one of many of the victims in this hotel. The victimizer is the manager of this hotel. Mr. Dunietz is the one who's creating this problem. Mr. Dunietz is the one who has cut off our heat and hot water. He stole our blankets from us. We're still human beings. We have feelings. And I'm not going to let these people be sold out and thrown out on the street, because I don't know. Where would I go?
But while Father Ryan blames Mr. Dunietz told us he's no longer the manager of the 123 and isn't responsible. In fact, over the years, Seymour Durst has leased the hotel to one manager after another. Each of them has milked the building for profits while spending little or nothing on repairs. Now, with Dunietz out, we asked Mr. Durst, whose 32nd floor offices are just across the street from the 123, exactly what he felt his responsibility was.
We have no responsibility there.
But heat and hot water could be turned on
by someone who has legal control. I don't have such legal control.
But you are the owner.
Yes, I am the owner.
And don't you have a responsibility to make it habitable?
I don't have a responsibility, and I don't have any right to go in and do anything.
They sit up there in their offices, have no contact with the human race.
Mary Ruff is a severe critic of Seymour Durst. She runs the Hotel Knickerbocker, which has been taken over by Project Find to provide a few of the elderly with clean, safe rooms. Mrs. Ruff objects to big money interests forcing older people out of other hotels in the neighborhood.
All they care about is what they can do with a piece of real estate, the money they can make. They don't care about a human life. There's no question about where do these people go. Who's asking that question? Certainly not the speculators, real estate speculators, no one.
What about the old people who don't have enough money to move into new buildings? What's going to happen to them?
What about the $2.5 billion that the city has to assist these people? That is the only thing. There are very heavy taxes paid by the whole country to assist these people.
But what if they're too proud to go on welfare? What's going to happen to them?
Most of these people are on welfare.
What about the older people who won't take welfare, who want a dignified life? Where do they fit in?
I really don't have any answer for that. The welfare facilities are available or should be available, and that is the resource that is to take care of them. And if you have an answer to what becomes of people who don't accept welfare, perhaps you can explain it. It's a question of their pride or their discomfort.
So what happens to these human beings?
They either get to find sort of a retreat here, or they're sleeping in subways, walking streets, and the rest we cannot even check on to what happens to them. And heavens knows, here one time in the last year, we found a woman that had walked in off of the street. No one knows how she got in. We found her dead in the room. Couldn't even identify her for a while. She had just walked in to have shelter from the weather.
Let me ask you this, sir. You're a man of some age. What would you do if you were stuck in the Hotel 123 and you had nowhere else to go? How would you feel?
I would feel that I had to go out and find another place and make available whatever assistance I can obtain to use it. The same as about 1.25 million people do in New York City.
Would you be willing to go on welfare?
If I had no other recourse, if my situation were desperate enough, I think I would have to. What is the alternative?
What is society when they have no respect for old age? The people that gave. Take a look here. Does anybody know where the elderly went from this building? Do they know where they're going from this building here? No one knows. No one cares. We find many of them on the streets. They're walking streets with 2 shopping bags, with their worldly possessions in 2 shopping bags. You see them sleeping in the bus station over here at night. 2 shopping bags, that's everything they have to show for a complete lifetime. And many of them are in their 70s and 80s. Their whole possessions, after they gave a whole lifetime, is in 2 little old shopping bags. That's all they have. It sickens me because I am one of the elderly too. And thank God I have been fortunate enough, I've had friends that have helped me to survive. And I don't know when I'll be the next to be in the gutter from here. I don't know. And when I think about it, it is so disgusting and so heartbreaking that I wonder what this country's coming to.
If I had my way, dear, forever there'd be a garden of roses for you and for me, 1,001 things, dear, I would do just for you, just for you, only you.
This is a little of what it's like to be old in Times Square in New York City. holding on to a single room, getting a free meal, spending a little time with your friends, living on 88 cents a day. That's what it's like in New York City in the late fall of 1974, and what it could be like for many of us who will also be old one day.